What up, y'all? It's ttarn. Today we're gonna be looking at y'all's theories for Pokemon Legends EA. Let's go. Ultra Beasts in Lumio City? You've just sparked something. Hey ttar, I was watching some of your videos on the lost files of Pokemon X and Y, and I just thought of something. What if there are Ultra Beasts set to appear in Pokemon Legends EA? Remember how we entered the Hisui region in Pokemon Legends Arceus? We fell from a rift that tore through the fabric of time and space, yet we lost our memories upon landing. That actually puts us at the classification of fallers such as Annabelle, and then we don't know but Ingo too. This is something very interesting. Pokemon has repeatedly, not too many times, reused this concept of getting sucked from somewhere else, appearing here and having no memories. Well, actually, the two cases, Looker and Annabelle, are related to fallers. Then we got Ingo in these games. So is it likely that due to our faller status, we'll encounter Ultra Beasts in Lumios too? So let's tackle this point first. By calling us a faller, they're talking about our Legends Arceus character. That whole concept of being sucked to a different timeline. The verdict in Legends Arceus is that the reason the distortions are appearing all over the place is Giratina, a couple years before the events, was scheming with Volo, caused all that to happen. But the reason we're brought there is Arceus, of course. But why is Ingo there? I could give an idea of why Ingo is there, because the game hasn't explained, and this might be something relating to when you can find Magnemite and random Pokemon from the future suddenly in your game. You guys remember that? Those distortions? Maybe one of those brought a full-on human, and that's Ingo. At that logic, it's weird to think many humans didn't get summoned here. But yeah, they're pretty much saying if that happened in Legends Arceus and that results in our main character being a faller technically, thus having no memories, then maybe if the same situation plays out again in Legends EA and we're sucked from the future to the past, that we'd technically be a faller as well. Which, what a faller does is attract Ultra Beasts. So, as soon as you appear in Legends EA, Ultra Beasts start to appear in Lumios as well, perfectly when you do, which is a real interesting concept. Now, there's something really fun to tie this idea to, which I will at the end of this. Let's cover the first problem here, which is Ultra Beasts aren't related to X and Y and its concepts, right? It is fun when Game Freak sometimes crosses over regions and lore. Like, for example, when Enamorus was introduced in this old Sinnoh game, a new Gen 5 legendary, to introduce something like Ultra Beasts in a Kalos themed game would be crazy. So listen, I've got a crazy idea here, right? So Zygarde, we never got to figure out what its true purpose was. They scrapped whatever its function was supposed to be. They threw the dude in Sun and Moon and said he was there because the Ultra Beasts were invading there. And so Zygarde was monitoring Alola's ecosystem. I mentioned a sliver of this in that X and Y scrap files video. What if we take that to the next level? Where the reason Zygarde is investigating Alola is because Zygarde has run into these Ultra Beasts before. During the events of Legends EA, when you're a faller, or even if you're not a faller, if some other circumstance causes Ultra Beasts to be invading Lumios, and maybe this is partially what they mean when they say making it a place where humans and Pokemon can coexist. They imply humans and Pokemon aren't coexisting right now. If you wanted to make the Pokemon side of that more threatening, you could say, sprinkled in with those wild Pokemon is this unusual phenomenon of Ultra Beasts existing and attacking Lumios as well. And that's why at the end of the game, we get rid of them, make it a place where humans and Pokemon can coexist. This would be so cool. This would be like that Enamorus situation taken to a whole other level. And so this might even be a game not involving Xerneas or Yveltal, because of course they're not buried in Lumios. The cocoon and the tree, they're somewhere far away. We don't know where they're buried, but you'd assume they're somewhere far away. Maybe this game could just solely focus on Zygarde and Ultra Beasts. And after playing this game and experiencing them clashing for the first time here, when you go back to Sun and Moon and see Zygarde just posted up in Alola, it kind of just fills in the gap. Zygarde is very wary and understands a couple hundred years ago how threatening the Ultra Beasts were. He's come to Alola and made his new little terminus cave. Because the idea that they gave us with the international police and this faller storyline is something they've barely explored at all, it is actually a plot point they could open up and bring to the forefront in these older Kalos games. You know, that theme of Alola was invasive species. What a better way to demonstrate Zygarde needing to monitor the ecosystem and being that guardian of Earth, maintaining order, than to actually have an invasive species coming, rather than just life and death being awakened again. You could even take this to the next level and have characters in this older Kalos game be ancestors to characters you see in some parts of Alola. Like for example, a Mon-looking character in these games. It doesn't have to be someone special like a scientist in these Legends EA games, just someone on the sidelines, kind of like the Wally ancestor dude. But it just shows a fun connection from that time period to now. The other thing this does is allow new Ultra Beasts to be made in this game. Like a good 6 new Ultra Beasts that would exist in this time period, along with our earlier existing ones. Blasphalon, Nihilego. Imagine them all freaking roaming this Lumio city, this urban environment. You'd never associate an Ultra Beast with an urban environment, but they're just hanging around, invasive and messing up the ecosystem, the balance. And then mixed in with these 6 new creepy designs that are Ultra Beasts. Could even take this to the next level and have people from Ultra Megalopolis in a weird way appear as well. How weird in terms of talking about a Legends format where you get to see ancestors and descendants, that you get to see ancestors to those Ultra Megalopolis people in these games. It's like the little girl and the old man, you see characters that look just like them, and they talk about how they're from, and it's not a part of the main story. This would be like some side quest thing, like gathering all of Spiritom's wisps. They talk about how they're from a world with no light, and it's important that you defeat all these Ultra Beasts, something like that. And maybe they even have a Solgaleo or Lunala that's beside them. Not something you can catch, nor am I implying Solgaleo and Lunala would be available in the games, but just as a little tidbit, because they casually just ride Solgaleo and Lunala. Man, there's some fun ideas here. We're gonna have to talk about this. This is bringing a lot of ideas to mind. Shank that like button. Which would you guys rather prefer the concept of Legends EA being? The story about life, death, and Zygarde? Or would you find it more fascinating if it was Zygarde and Ultra Beasts? You guys might be able to see the next thing, the elephant in the room with this idea, so I will talk about it. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.